Let's be honest, starting when you have nothing can be scary. And sometimes you may want to start over and you have a little debt, you have zero savings, and you have no multiple streams of income. If that's you, then this video is for you. I have been there, and this video is for you who wants to build from zero to something. And I'm going to give practical step by steps of things that I have done to move from zero to where I am today. Before we get into the video, in the backend, I see that most of the people watch my content have not yet subscribed. Please take this second and hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow. The first step is accept where you are at the moment. This is the first step I did personally. I analyzed my finances and accepted where I was at that time and stopped beating myself up because of it. Since you beating up yourself for the situation that you are in will not change the situation, but actually accepting it gives you that positive vibe, gives you that goal or that mood to step up and start doing practical examples to build your finances. So maybe you have lost your main job, you have lost your main side hustle, or you have just gotten a new job, then that is the first step to start. Right where you are is the right place to start. Always remember, comparison is the stealer of joy, so do not compare your financial journey with anyone else. The only person you need to compare your financial journey with is yourself. Ask yourself whether you are doing better than yesterday. Are you doing better than last month? Are you doing better than last year financially? That's the only track record you need to compare yourself, because it is from that personal comparison that will help you improve. But comparing yourself with another person's financial journey will only steal joy and build resentment, and probably you may not even be motivated to move towards achieving your personal goals. The second step is understand your numbers. So when I started building my financial freedom journey, is I had to look into my numbers, and I was so surprised to where most of my money was going, because if I'd just adjusted little things here and there, I would have been in a better place. But since you have accepted and I accepted where I was, I had to look into my numbers to understand where does my money go to most and how am I managing my finances. And that's the same thing that you need to do. Once you accept the situation that you are in, the next thing is to look into your numbers and know where your money is going. What do you spend on? What kind of subscriptions take your money from your account? And do you actually need the subscription? How many times do you eat out? Do you really need to eat out, or you can actually make meals from home? So those are the kind of conversation that you need to be having with yourself. The best way to track the expenses is to have a notebook and write down everything you buy or purchase or subscribe to. Another alternative is to have a Google spreadsheet where you key in all the numbers, what you spend on your rent, electricity, water, shopping, your maintenance, eating out, entertainment, airtime, everything you need to track down, and so that you can be able to calculate the amount of money you spent every month. And in this sheet, you also need to write the loans that you have. Who do you owe money, or who owes you money? It goes both ways. You need to understand your financial status into details. The third step is secure the basic first. So when I reached at this point where I was analyzing my finances and I was wondering where my money is going, I had to secure the basics first. And what are the basics? They are the needs, things that you cannot go by without paying for them, like rent, water, electricity, food, transport, maintenance. Those are things, and airtime. Those are things, and internet. Those are the things that you can't go by without paying for them. So you need to understand those basics and then see how much of those basics are taken from your income. What percentage is it? Because the goal is to maintain that percentage between 50 to 60% of your monthly income. So once you secure the basics, you need also, as you are tracking down what you are spending on most, you will realize maybe there are subscriptions that you pay for and you do not use. Then you can start cutting on those. You may notice that you usually eat out a lot of the times, and you can actually budget for that and reduce the number of times you are eating outside, and normalize cooking or doing meal prep at home. You may realize that you're doing a lot of impulse buying, which could be buying clothes, shoes, utensils at home, decor. And once you understand that you have a problem with impulse buying, then understand where it's coming from. And sometimes the thing that you want to buy can actually wait. If it's decor, it can actually wait. You can actually budget for it and do those kind of revamp once in a while, because remember that these things that you are spending on are not bringing you income, but they actually make you feel good. So you need to budget and analyze areas that you can cut on spending. The fourth step is to build a safety net. So after I had understood where my money is going, I'd tracked down, I'd cut on costs. Now I started building a safety net. And what is a safety net? A safety net, I also call it as emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is a crucial thing that you should have at any given point, because the future is usually unpredictable and you do not know what may happen. You may lose your job, you may need some health checkup, you may need maybe to repair your car if you have, you may need to relocate. There are so much uncertainties, and when you have a safety net, that's the first place to build your financial freedom. And how do you go about this? Calculate the amount of money you spend on essential needs every month. Maybe it's 30,000 Kenyan shillings. Multiply that with 3 months, that is 90,000 Kenyan shillings. That's where you start. So you take that 90,000 Kenyan shillings divided by 12 to see how much money you need to be saving in your emergency fund every year. The first step is to build your 3 months emergency fund, and then continue building it to 6 months. And if your finances are doing well, you can actually build it up to 12 months of emergency fund. And this gives you a lot of peace of mind. It can help you transition from one career to another. It can help you relocate. It can help you even take a break from work because of the mental exhaustion. You can actually take a break from work and say you will resign, rest for like 3 months, and then go back to applying for jobs. The fifth step is increase your sources of income. So savings is important. After I learned about savings and building emergency fund, the next thing was to increase your source of income, because when you look at your current salary, it may take you 1 year or even 2 years to build an emergency fund that can take care of you for 3 months. Actually, it can take you 1 year to build an emergency fund that can take care of your needs for 1 month. So the best place now is to increase your sources of income so that you can achieve your financial goal quickly. And what did I do? I was still doing freelancing, so I added in more clients. I started a business. I started selling items on Jumia store. I also have an ebook that I'm selling for online-based side hustle. So all these aspects, and also I started a YouTube channel, even though I've not yet started earning from my YouTube channel, but that is a future investment. When I get there, I'll be able to get income from my YouTube channel. So if you're wondering where to start, I would suggest you click the link in the description below. It will take you to my ebook. You can buy it and check the type of side hustle that you can do. We have a lot of online side hustle that you can do in all careers. So this book gives you a guide on what areas you should focus on, what kind of jobs you should look for in your career, and also the places that you can find those jobs. So if you do not know where to start, get that book and start increasing your sources of income. The good thing with this online side hustle is you can have them and you still have your full-time employment, because we have the gig economy and most of the clients or most of the businesses are looking to have partial or part-time contractors to help them with tasks in their businesses, which is affordable for them. And that means you can be able to have different clients at the same time. Look into what you can actually bring income. Look at your skills. How can you use your skills to bring in more income? And when you look inside, you will be able to see what kind of skill you can actually use to bring in more income. The sixth step is save consistently. So when you start saving, do not stop. Do not save this month and say next month I will not save. Once you start saving, do it consistently. That is how you'll be able to see it's significant. And that's also how I've been able to see a significant change in my finances when I'm saving. Because sometimes you may save and you do not have a goal, but as time goes by, you may be able to get some ideas, some business ideas, and you're like, oh, I have some savings account. I can actually be able to risk this amount and start that business or purchase items in wholesale and sell it to people, or even build a website or start a course or something, because every time you think of investment, you must spend to earn. And if you do not have anything to spend on, then you will not be able to earn. The seventh thing is learning about savings accounts that earn you interest. And in our market today, we have the money market fund accounts where interest is credited in your account every month, and it is usually compounded. So you need to understand what kind of accounts are you saving at. And the best place to save is save it in an account that is giving you interest, so that that money can be compounded and you will get more interest. The eighth thing that I have learned is to avoid these mistakes. Which mistakes am I talking about? Is about get rich quick schemes. Get rich schemes will make you lose a lot of money, because they are usually promising, they promise huge amount of interest, they have good perks that you cannot even get in employment, and they actually show you how much money you'll be able to make in a month. And sometimes these returns are even up to 300,000 returns on the money that you put in that scheme. But the truth of the matter is you will lose your money. These get rich quick schemes do not work, because if they usually worked, then everybody will be in them and will be making massive amount of money. One thing that you need to ask yourself when someone presents to you with such kind of get rich quick schemes is, what is the product in here? Because most of those schemes do not have any product they are selling. So the first thing you need to ask yourself, what is the product here? And if you cannot identify what product you're selling so you can get that profit, then the product is you and your money that you have invested in that. Because most of them is usually rob Peter pay John, and after some time the scheme collapses and you lose your money. Remember, the person who came up with that scheme also is in business of making money. So you need to ask yourself, where is that person getting that money to give you those kind of huge interest that even when the government loans from the citizen does not give that amount of money? So you need to ask yourself those questions and understand that there is nothing like getting rich quickly. It usually takes time. Just the same way as Rome was not built in one day, you cannot be able to build wealth in one day or even in 1 year. It takes years of consistency, of doing businesses, offering services, people paying for your service, you investing in stocks, some peak, some fail, investing in real estate. It's a whole bundle of work that takes you years to build. The last step is always celebrate small wins. Sometimes you may win something today. You may be able to save 200 Kenya shillings that you had not saved before. Then congratulate yourself. Next time you may be able to save 500 Kenya shillings. The other time you'll be able to save 1,000 Kenya shillings. So it's about the small habits and celebrating the small wins. So do not despise the small beginning. Do not despise saving. Do not say, after calculating, I'm only able to save 200 Kenya shillings. Yes, start there. Save that 200 Kenya shillings. Next month, you'll be able to improve and maybe save 500 Kenya shillings. But when you start saying that the salary that I have is too small to allow me to save, then you will never save. Even when that salary you have is double, you will never save, because you will always have expenses that match up your income. And if you are spending 100% of your income to expenses, then you have nothing to save, you have nothing to invest. So always start small, do not despise the humble beginnings, and keep consistency in this journey of building your financial freedom. Remember, if you are starting from zero, you can practice these steps I have listed, because personally I've implemented them in my life and I've seen them work. If you have also found this video useful, please like and leave a comment down below. Also share, and also if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, take this time and hit the subscribe button.